welcome to the first installment of the Ask Johnny format of Buoy Swim School. Very happy to be here and have a chance to share some of my thoughts on questions that you might have pertaining to learning to swim or water safety, both near and dear to my heart. First question, I think, is coming from
Krista asked, when will my child be water safe? Should I put him in a life jacket or floaties? What do you consider swimming? Should my child wear goggles?
Well, those are several very diverse questions, but all pertaining to what we do here. Number one, Krista, using the term water safe is something that we really discourage. Take a look at the word safe. If we look at the dictionary, that states that if you are safe, you are free from risk of harm, injury, or even death. And with water and water-related activities, that definition really doesn't hold water. Okay? There's always some risk when you're in, on, or around the water. Now, we can greatly reduce those risks once they're recognized by implementing different strategies, such as putting barrier fencing around home backyard pools, teaching children to swim, learning CPR. In fact, this becomes the basis of our Safer 3 program, which deals with recognizing the risks that are common to every drowning. There's always water, always a person, and always a response capability. So if you're able to focus on those 3 elements for your family, you can help create strategies that are custom to your family, like creating a personal recipe for prevention. I think the next question was, what should your child do as far as wearing goggles or floaties? Goggles, floaties, and life jackets. Life jackets, a definite must whenever you're in open water situations such as boating, fishing, even being around a lake on a dock. If kids are not familiar with swimming in that environment, life jackets could save countless lives every year, especially in the adult population with fishermen. But the idea of putting floaties on a small child, that's a different situation. Floaties could be used in a recreational sense if a parent is in the water with a couple of children and the younger one wants to be part of the action. That floaties could help them be part of the action for a limited time. But these are a real hazard when children become dependent upon them. Every year there's an instance of some child that's taken their floaties off, gotten in the water thinking they could stay up. They've had that false sense of security. So floaties, can be fun, but they should be viewed only as a recreational thing, like floating on a noodle. They're not a life-saving, they're not a life preserver, and they should really not be used on a regular basis because the child can become dependent upon them. And it makes it harder for them to learn to put their face in the water in some cases. As far as wearing goggles, this is another two-edged question. Some kids love goggles, others really don't care to have them on their face. They're not the most comfortable piece of apparatus for some kids. They can definitely help boost confidence by giving a better field of vision underwater, but there's a downside to continued goggle use as well, in that a child can become very dependent upon them, and if they happen to get them knocked loose while they're swimming or playing with other kids, then they can be in a situation that catches them by surprise. So if you do have your child wearing goggles, I heartily recommend that they have some practice time swimming without goggles, or even making a game out of filling them up with water and swimming around with them flooded like they're in an aquarium, and get used to that feeling of the water against their eyes. And then when they want to wear them to see clearly, it's okay to do that. Next question, Jeremy.
She also asked, what do you consider swimming?
This is a great question. In fact, this is one that's come up many times in various water safety organizations, trying to come up with a, quote, standardized definition of swimming. To most people, it's swimming a crawl stroke across the pool or across the lake or in the ocean. And coming from the swim school, the Learn to Swim environment, we like to think of swimming being the collective ability to live in the water. The child or adult has the capability of recovering their balance at any time in the water. They can change positions. They can recover their breath at any time. It becomes a natural way of of moving and balancing and breathing while they're in the water. As far as having endurance and skill levels, the distance of 300 to 400 yards often comes up as being a measure of ability that could greatly reduce the likelihood of any type of a drowning accident occurring in that person's lifetime. Of course, there's always situations that we can get into in different bodies of water, such as the ocean, when there's a big surf up or the strong currents. Even strong swimmers find out that there's always risk whenever you're in on around the water. But for swimming, it's not just being able to jump in and move your arms and legs and get across the pool. You need to be able to stop at any time, relax, stay afloat, dive under a little bit, come up. In other words, be in total control of the environment, being able to control your breath, your balance, and then being able to move in one of the recognized swimming strokes.